Welcome to the highlights of the second day's play of the Test match at the MCG, the fourth in the series between Australia and England, and the Boxing Day Test. A famous Test match, but unfortunately Boxing Day itself was washed out yesterday. We're going to be able to get into the second day's play now. The teams nominated yesterday at the toss, which was won by Mark Taylor, where he put England into bat, are as follows. The Australians, Mark Taylor and Michael Slater. Justin Langer, the two Wars, Lehmann, Healy, Fleming. Then Nicholson, playing in his first match, Matthew Nicholson, now from Western Australia, originally from New South Wales, Stewart, McGill, Glenn McGrath, and Colin Miller named as 12th man. In the England side, Michael Atherton, Alex Stewart going in at the top of the order there. Now that's a captain's decision. He knows it'll be difficult out there with the overnight sweating on the pitch. Mark Butcher, Nasser Hussain, then Ramprakash, Hick, Headley, Gough, Fraser, Mullally, and John Crawley, the 12th man. Well, Tony Greig reported from the centre that first of all it was freezing cold, around about 11 degrees, he said, and a bitter wind blowing pretty much straight down the ground from the north. And the pitch itself had sweated overnight, so much so that the umpires had to bring out some heating equipment and dry it off. And once they did that, then play was able to begin on time. We're going to pick it up now with the fifth ball of the first over. Glenn McGrath is the bowler. He's coming in to bowl to Michael Atherton in the commentary box with no runs on the board. Bill Laurie and Tony Greig.
Yeah! Scotty has it. Bit of movement away. He's gone. That's 1 for none at the MCG. Michael Atherton caught behind. Played. Apparently got an edge. He wasn't happy with that decision. A good replay.
Yes, he's not just not happy. He's normally a very calm, collected customer, and I think he's very unhappy. He really did shake his head. Yeah, see if we can pick up anything. When it nips back a little bit, they go up in concert. I think that his bat probably flicked his pad. You can see the reaction here of Atherton, just looks at the umpire as if to say, well, and then a little shake of the head. You've got to be a bit careful what you do these days. It can cost you a lot of money. But that, for Atherton, was, well, you don't often see him do that sort of thing. He obviously is not happy at all, and unfortunately accompanied by the duck back to the pavilion. So Atherton out for a duck. England 1 for none.
Mark Butcher taking guard from umpire Steve Buckner. Dramatic start to the fourth test on the second day. Very good delivery from McGrath. Drew Atherton forward.
Well, I can't see any deflection there, and I can't see the ball doing anything different.
I thought I could see a bit of bat flying off. I thought it was a genuine top of the bat. Damien Fleming. And that's a very strange start, wasn't it? Going hard at the ball. Alex Stewart got a genuine edge and it flew away for 4.
Yes, this is going to be tense stuff.
Mark Butcher on strike to Glenn McGrath. Yes, that's out. Joy, yes. He's got 2. Good catch. Good bowling. He never looked safe, Butcher, did he? He got inside edge onto the pad and well caught.
That's a good delivery. There was a bit of bounce in that one. I think it hit very high up on the bat. And a good catch as well. Those reflex catches at forward short leg take some catching, and Langer was there. Just watch the bounce here. It gets quite steep. There's a bit of bat and pad in that one, and look at Langer go to his right. That's a wonderful catch, and McGrath's reaction tells the story there. Beautiful bowling. England again are in all sorts of trouble right from the word go. Butcher out caught at forward short leg. Another duck has been registered, and England unfortunately now 2 for 4.
That's what I'm saying. The non-striker McGrath has 2 for none. What a start. What a bowler.
Oh yes, he's creeping up on 200 wickets.
Oh dear, that was inside edge. I think that's gone for 4. It's all happening at the MCG, and it's not good for England.
Certainly not. That was a beautiful ball from Fleming. And
runs there for Alex Stewart. Vast area for a man at short leg to cover.
So Hussein off the mark. Pretty well played by Alex Stewart. It was an awkward delivery, but he got it to ground very quickly.
Two for 21, 9 overs gone here. Yesterday, Mark Taylor won the toss and put England into bat. Today, we're seeing a lively start. Plenty of bounce in the pitch, bit of swing. There's a nice firm stroke down the ground. That's a good shot. Well, there's a bit of pace in the outfield, even though we had that steady rain for most of yesterday. It started off with showers, and that hasn't stopped this ball fairly racing over the outfield.
He's a good player of the pull shot and the hook shot, Alex Stewart. And will go away to the boundary.
That again is a good indication that there's plenty of pace in the outfield. Ball going across the grass here this morning quite well. It's not as though it's digging in once it hits.
Australian Test cricketer number 380 about to perform, Matthew Nicholson.
He was lying awake dreaming for a few hours last night about the first ball. I reckon it might have been the hope for an absolute ripper of a Yorker. He wasn't all that far away with it.
It's beautifully struck by Alex Stewart. Won't go, but they should run four. The edge. It's going to be 4 runs.
It was pacey enough and directed well enough that it produced a false stroke there from Alex Stewart.
That's away to the boundary. Matter of whether it was off the pad or the bat. Leg buys. England 2 for 52.
Matthew Nicholson to bowl his second over to Alex Stewart. And it's through again. Good value for your shots here. The outfield quite fast considering yesterday's rain.
It's raced away. Playing well, Alex Stewart.
Hussein. It's got it away. It's well played as well. Nicholson too short. Been tested here on debut.
Well, I think the England players had to be positive against the young man. If they allowed him to settle in, costly. He's going to be a nervous young man.
It's going to be a bowling change at the southern end. It'll be leg spin. McGill coming into the attack. It's gone for him. It's well played. Knocked it over McGrath and go all the way.
Let's watch this first delivery. Well, that's nicely played. That's a lovely straight drive, straight down the ground, and that brings up his half-century. Well, that's back-to-back 50s for Alex Stewart, and this is certainly turning out to be a captain's innings. He's been there since the very word go. He's opened the batting, and he's seen 2 of his partners disappear for ducks. However, he's there, 8 fours to 66 balls for that 50. Nicholson continuing. Oh, what a good ball! Yes, that's his first wicket. What a beautiful delivery. That's the place to bowl. Quick, just outside off stump and probably moving away off the seam a little bit. A little nick, and young Nicholson has struck for the first time in Test cricket.
Two great things there with that wicket. First, that Nicholson took it, and it is one of the great moments he will ever know in his life, his first Test match wicket. Particularly as he's taken a little bit of a hammering here, his debut, and that ball has just found the outside edge. Now the next great thing came with the umpire, Steve Buckner, who waited for Nasser Hussain to go off, and then when he didn't, he just gave him the faintest little nod. Nasser was on his way. Now Mark Ramprakash comes out. He's done well. He's shown himself to be a fighter on this tour.
And again a full toss, and that one's a much better shot from Stewart. He's picked his spot that time and got it away a little finer. And that's gone for 4. So 3 for 99. Taylor having introduced Nicholson and McGill to relieve the fast bowlers, has now got his openers back into the attack, because he's now bringing Fleming back as well.
Good shot, he loves the full shot. Didn't quite get that, but should get at least 3. Coming back on the arm. It's good running. 4, all run. Well played, plenty of bat on that little race away for 4. Trying to force off the back foot. 12 boundaries, 74 for England skipper. Fine knock.
So Nicholson getting a go now from the great southern stand end. He hasn't had a bowl from there yet. Oh, well bowled. That one just nipped back a bit. Stewart tried to force on the offside. He very nearly dragged that one back onto his stumps.
Might be a change of fortune there for Alex Stewart. Early in the series, he was just making the one mistake and out.
19 to Ramprakash, 80 to Stewart. And Glenn McGrath. Oh, and that one's gone to the boundary. As he stood up and really had a go at that one. Glenn McGrath has gone walking down, chatting away to him. He's just turned his back on him. There's the cut shot, right in the middle of the bat, that one. No point in running. That's going to rush into the boundary. No trouble at all. That's a lovely cut shot. Very short outside off stump, and he was onto it quickly. Oh, he smashed that one. That's a great shot. Short outside off stump, and Stewart really has got stuck into that one. The Barmy Army are on their feet, and Stewart is getting closer and closer to his century. What a good shot that was. The 3 for 162. Stewart on 96 at the non-striker's end. This is Ramprakash.
Oh, that's well played. The perfect cover drive.
A couple of things come out of the condition of the ground today, Bill. One is the fast outfield, despite all the rain yesterday and a bit more overnight. And the fact that the pitch, having had some life in it early on, now looks to be a beauty.
Chance for Stewart's 100. It's hit straight down the ground. It may not make the ropes. They should get at least 3. So Stewart goes to 99. McGill comes back into the attack. Bad ball, and there it goes. Well played, Alex Stewart.
That ball's running very fast over the outfield again, and they will run 4. Chance of doing that at the MCG, a big ground. Lovely innings, one of the best.
It'll be 50 for Ramprakash as well. He's been a thorn in the side of the Australians. He's played very well in the middle order. He's back for 3. No, he bowled him. I think it has. Bowled him round his legs. McGill strikes. What a wicket for Australia. Stewart gone for 107.
Very well bowled. They might find that Stewart has just left that little bit of a gap there. He hasn't covered it with his body. Oh, and it's pretty close. It's a full toss, in fact, or so it looked on this angle. And it's just pitched outside leg stump. It hasn't had to spin back very far. Just a matter of 3 or 4 inches.
Well, that's heartbreaking. You get a full toss on 107. He's gone. And it's 4 for 200.
Graham Hick, the new man at the crease.
3 for 198. It's going to be Stephen Waugh, so Mark Tao looking for something special here.
And gone. Steve Waugh's the man to remove a headache for Australia. Mark Ramprakash is gone. Not only did he lose his partner in Alex Stewart, he's now gone himself.
The man will be quaking in his boots will be Graham Hick at the other end, because the England tail now starts to come in. And a leading edge there from Ramprakash going straight to Glenn McGrath. So Steve Waugh has made it a double breakthrough for Australia. Ramprakash is gone for 63, and it's 5 for 202.
Warren Hegg is the new man at the crease, making his test debut at the age of 30. Warren Hegg, his first test runs. Steve Waugh to continue. Warren Hegg will be the man taking strike. Steve Waugh won't be pulling back from giving these batsmen a bit of a touch-up. Oh, beautiful. He got a touch to it. It wasn't a touch-up. It was a nick. Ian Healy takes an easy catch. Warren Hick didn't want to go anywhere. He waited for Steve Buckner to give him the order. Off you go. Steve Waugh's done it again.
Yeah, Steve Bucknell gives the batsmen every chance to walk if they want to. Steve Waugh now moves to 89. A good thick outside edge, simple catch for Ian Healy, who moves to 351 catches in Test cricket. Warren Hegg wasn't moving anywhere. He was going to make the umpire put the finger up. Eventually Steve Bucknell did. And England 6 for 206.
Dean Headley, the new man for England. Is this another collapse? We've seen plenty of them during the series. The tail making virtually no contribution to the England total.
Oh, that's well bowled. I think that may have been pad and then bat. It was in the air. I think he may have got his hand to it. Let's have another look at this.
Oh, this has been a great catch. He went very quickly. I think the pad first and the bat. Out it goes. Oh, that really would have been a great, just a fingertip to it.
Short delivery, and that's a beautiful shot. He does play it magnificently. We saw it in Perth, and he's waited for the right ball here, and he really has executed the pull shot beautifully again.
Now, I wonder if Mark Taylor thinks about putting a man out there.
Oh, that's in the air, and that's it. Short delivery. Oh, he's saying not out. Well, I thought that there was a really clonky noise there. It must have been, well, it must have been off the arm guard, which is looks like it's made of glass fibre. Have another look at this.
That's certainly my first reaction. I'm not sure. That might be just above the. Might be just above. It might be on where you'd have your watch.
and caught. Mark Taylor, very well taken there at first slip by Mark Taylor. It was a thick edge, it flew pretty quickly. Mark Taylor grabbed it easily.
Yes, beautifully taken. Well, he's got one more to take now to equal the record. Let's have a look at it again. Lovely bowling just outside off stump. Firm drive at it. Look at him. Absolutely beautifully caught. No trouble at all. And did he enjoy that or what? Glenn McGrath's been looking forward to finding the outside edge there. He's done it. And, well, there we are. Two of them shake hands. Headley out caught Taylor. Bowl McGrath, 14. 7 for 244.
Darren Gough, whose batting has deteriorated since we saw him get that half century at the SCG on England's last tour. That's more like the Darren Gough we saw at the SCG. Just a quick four and then do a couple of stretching exercises. Oh, he's belted that one again. Now this is much better from Darren Gough. Don't know how long it'll last, but it'll be exciting while it does. 7 for 256. Stuart MacGill returns to the attack now, taking over from Damien Fleming. Well, now Graham Hick's decided to go on the rampage, and he's hit a huge one way up into the Barmy Army. That is a huge hit.
Well, you could hear it as it cracked off the bat. That was going to stay up for a long time, and they're loving it up there.
Here he goes again, mid-on, and he's gone. So Stuart MacGill wins that little battle, and Graham Hick has holed out at mid-on.
Well, that's a tragedy from England's point of view. He's just started to strike the ball well, and he should really have just been reining himself in a little bit. Doesn't have to hit everyone for 4 or 6. Perhaps the adrenaline's got to him. He's gone for it, missed time this one, and Fleming there taking it, no trouble at all. So MacGill 2 for 61, Hick out for 39. It's 8 for 266.
Angus Fraser played in 46 Test matches. He's been a great fighter for England.
It's all happening at the MCG. Oh, he's got him around his legs. That's well bowled. He's having a good day, MacGill. Pitching in the rough, getting it to turn back. That's the end of Gough for 11, and it's 9 for 270.
Very good performance from MacGill. He outthought Graham Hick and didn't allow himself to be phased into pitching the ball shorter and a bit quicker. And now he's bowled Gough around his legs, behind his pads, the same as he did to Angus Fraser earlier. And not something that Darren Gough will want to see too often, but MacGill will. That was clever and very good cricket. 9 for 270.
Al Mullally comes in at 9 for 270. Good day's play. Plenty of runs, wickets falling. MacGill has 3 for 61. Big shout. That's out. Yes, they're all out. Bowled out for 270. Another duck for Mullally. 4 for MacGill. Good day's cricket. It's going to be a very interesting final hour here at the MCG.
Well, I thought that was a very good effort from England. They had to score fast, and they did so just about all the way through the innings. 270 they made, and from only 76 overs. Wonderful knock from Alex Stewart. He went up the top knowing it would be difficult. It was. He lost 2 men for 4, and then he saw them through to 270 with that 107 and 63 there for Mark Ramprakash and 39 for Graham Hick. But I'm afraid the tail, well, it didn't quite disintegrate as it has been doing in the other matches, but that wasn't very good. 270 from 76, and the bowling figures for the Australians. Stuart MacGill with that superb last spell, 19 overs, 2 maidens and 4 for 61. Steve Waugh, good captaincy there to bring him on, 6 overs, 2 maidens and 2 for 8. Matthew Nicholson, 1 for 59. And I thought Glenn McGrath again was superb. He is in great form at the moment, even though he's been suffering from a chest virus. 22 overs, 5 maidens and 3 for 64. We're going to pick up the Australian reply now with no runs on the board. It's the first over. Darren Gough is bowling to Mark Taylor, and in the commentary box with me is Bill Laurie.
4. Leg bias.
Dean Headley, the man from the southern end. Lovely shot. Loves to play in that arc down the ground. Plays straight early on. Yields an easy 3. Very close. Steve Buckner having a big look. Took his time, as he usually does. Steadies himself. England have their first.
Well, you know when Steve Buckner takes his time, you're in trouble. As a batsman, Darren Gough deserves that. He's beaten him for pace, as Simon Donald was saying. And I think this might have got him on the back leg. It certainly seems to nip back. Oh, and it does. They don't come much easier than that to give out. Steve Buckner gives Michael Slater out, and Darren Gough is rewarded. Michael Slater's gone for 1. Australia now 1 for 13.
Justin Langer, the new man, coming to the crease. He's there to replace Michael Slater. Shot. The shot of a confident batsman.
This thing's going along pretty slowly here at the moment. Oh, and that's well taken. That's a good wicket. Gough has done it again. Taylor has got himself out caught. I don't think that one moved much. I think he was just playing it at a little wide delivery there, just pushed tentatively at it, and it went flying away in the direction of Hick, and he took the catch nicely.
Good catch from Graham Hick and a very good delivery from Darren Gough. England needed that wicket. Gough is bowling well, and the second wicket is down with 26 on the board.
So Mark Waugh, the new batsman, an average of 43.53 in test matches. Well, that's nicely played. He does play that shot beautifully. Anything on the leg side. Mark Waugh really is an elegant player. The way he gets them away on the onside, that one was off his hip and right off the middle of the bat, and he played it fine purposely.
Mark Waugh on strike. Bad ball. It's pulled away, and we'll go for 4. It's a poor delivery to a batsman of Waugh's class. It's 2 for 59.
No more runs added to that total of 2 for 59 for the Australians because the umpires took them off because of bad light. Ramprakash came on to bowl 1 over of off spin. That was good thinking by Alex Stewart, but he wasn't able to get away with Dean Headley, and that's the way it finished. A good recovery there from Australia because Taylor and Slater were out cheaply, Langer and Waugh in good form. Lovely exhibition of bowling from Darren Gough. Deserves a lot of success. He's been a hard trier, and not all the luck has gone his way. 7 overs, 5 maidens, and 2 for 15 for him. And for the moment, from the highlights, it's goodbye. Welcome to the highlights of the third day's play of this Boxing Day Test match at the MCG. It's really just the second day's play. The first day washed out completely, and the second day absolutely brilliant. Some wonderful cricket, and this is what has happened so far. England in their first innings 270. Alex Stewart, a fine innings of 107, one of the best I've seen from him, back up in the opening position. 63 for Ramprakash and 39 for Graham Hick, and a little bit of a wiggle there in the tail with Hegg and Headley and Gough and Fraser and Mullally doing just a bit better than has normally been the case. 76 overs for 270, and the bowling figures for Australia. Stuart McGill came up with 3 for none in 8 balls at the end to give him 4 for 61 from 19, 3 for 64 for McGrath, a wicket for Nicholson on his test debut, and Steve Waugh 6 overs, 2 maidens and 2 for 8. Then the Australians at the close of play yesterday evening, 2 for 59. The men out Taylor for 7 and Slater 1. Langer 26 and Mark Waugh 12. Those 59 came from 18 overs. And then the England bowling, Darren Gough I thought was superb. 7 overs, 5 maidens and 2 for 15. And the bowlers used Headley, Mullally and Ramprakash. Well, at the start of this third day, Tony Greig reported from the centre that the weather was clearing up. He said it was going to be very fine in the afternoon, probably sunny as well, and certainly a bit warmer, and the pitch still looked to be an absolute beauty. We're going to join it 8 overs into the play. 14 runs have been added to the overnight score. Fraser is bowling to Langer, and in the commentary box, Ian Chappell and Bill Laurie.
It's well fielded. Knocks it down. Saved at least 2 runs. Angus Fraser's job is to obviously get wickets, to keep it as tight as possible, keep some pressure on the batsman. No ball, and he puts it away. That's badly bowled. That's Langer's strength. He mentioned when talking to Ian Chappell after that magnificent 169 not out in Adelaide, he likes to play square of the wicket as he does in Perth.
The 50 partnership coming from just 96 balls.
Well played, right through the gap on the offside. Beautiful timing, all the way to the fence for 4. That is vintage Mark Waugh. So Fraser just nagging away. He's into his 5th over now. No wicket for 17.
That's
Big appeal there for LBW. Yes, he's given him 2. He's out. LBW's very surprised at that. Well, I want to see the angle of that one. That looked to me as if it was bowled from relatively wide, and he's not happy about that one. Well, sometimes you can surprise yourself. You get yourself into a position which is a little adjacent. Let's have a look.
Well, he's going to be a little bit unlucky. That's actually nipped back. If it had gone on straight, I think it would have been out. But I think Mark Waugh a little surprised with that, and I think he's probably got a right to be.
Oh, it's not out, no doubt about that. Well, they've had a good day, the umpires, so we've given them a pat on the back. Well, that one wasn't a good decision in my view, and when Ian Botham says it wasn't out, then you know it wasn't out. So he's LBW to Fraser for 36. So 3 for 98. Steve Waugh is the new batsman, and he's out there with Langer on 38, and England have got a wicket.
That's a good shot. Mazarpani went straight through the line. Magnificent on drive.
Just watching like early on, half volley with the ball not deviating at all. There was no swing there. If anything, it was slanting in just a fraction towards Waugh's leg stump.
Headley continues. Oh, cracking shot. He's in good form. Beautifully played. And I think it's time for Darren Gough, Richie.
Better get him back quickly. Steve will keep the strike there too, because they've, I'd say they've rushed through for 4. They've ambled their way through for 4. It's taken Angus Fraser quite a time to get out there. It's a long throw. Here's Mullally bowling to Steve Waugh. 3 slips in the gully.
Oh, glorious stroke. He's in good touch.
Darren Gough back into the attack. Oh, well caught. That was really flying. That was humming. Dean Headley in the gully. What a good catch. That is a much-needed breakthrough for England.
Well, it was straight at him. If he'd have dropped it, he would have been a bit upset. Yes, it looks as if they... It looks as if they're patting Hussein on the back there, so this was nicely taken. He attempted a Yorker there, away she went. He did have a bit of a hit at it, and straight to him at chest height, both hands wrapped around it, cleanly caught. And And, well, that's Goff again. He's doing most of the damage here. This is a big wicket. Justin Langer has played very well. And he was looking extremely dangerous. So out caught Hussein and bowled Goff for 44.
Darren Lehmann playing his first test in Australia as a top score of 98 made on the tour of Pakistan. Thumped. He doesn't mess around, Darren Lehmann.
Hanson was there to hit, and he certainly did get stuck into it. This is Headley again.
Steve Waugh hasn't had much strike for a while, but it hasn't made a lot of difference.
It's just one ball in the last 4 overs.
Well, a chance here, and it just clears second slip. Graham Hick, probably the tallest, well, definitely the tallest of the slip fielders. He was the one who had a chance. It's been signalled leg by.
It's a great shot. That's what he likes. Bit of width outside the off stump. He'll go for it. Good results.
He's still got a bit of a problem with that left elbow.
Darren Goff to Darren Lehmann. It's a great shot. That's what he likes to do. Magnificent cover drive.
It's a beautiful stroke, but Goff will know that there's a chance there.
He's gone this time. That's good bowling. Yes, he tested him out. Superb bowling by Darren Goff. Loose shot from Lehmann. 5 for 151.
That's good cricket from Darren Goff. Since he came back, he's picked up 2 wickets. Second one, Darren Lehmann. Before that, Justin Langer. Well, that was there to be hit, but it moved away off the seam. Gave Goff every chance of getting the edge, and Warren Hegg has taken the catch. So that's 4 wickets to Darren Goff now, and he's bowled pretty well.
Talking about all-rounders, here's a great all-rounder, Ian Healy. 350 catches as a wicket-keeper. 4,218 runs at almost 30 with 4 test hundreds. He's facing a fired-up Darren Goff with 4 for 46 at last, getting some reward for some excellent bowling. There it goes. How was that? Right through the gap. 4 off the over, 5 for 159. It's broke the shackles as he always does. He's a fine player. Just a bit of width. Put away for 4.
Oh, well played, and that's going away. This will be 7,000. Back for the second. Steve Waugh goes to 7,000 and now 7,001. A wonderful record. Only 17 players in the history of cricket have achieved this milestone. And he now becomes the 5th Australian. Oh, and that's gone too, down to the fence for 4. They're turning it on now, the Aussies. These two very, very experienced cricketers are putting together a very, very useful partnership.
Yeah. Third man in now for Angus Fraser. Brings up the 200 for Australia. Single brought up the 50-run partnership between these two. 70 balls it's taken.
That's great running. 50 for Steve Waugh. It's been lovely innings. Very, very thoughtful innings. Some good strokes. He started off like a bomb. Played strokes everywhere. Then settled in. Good running between the wickets now with his ace partner Healy.
Shot from Ian Healy. It's in the air and he's gone. aggression and being positive has been a key to most of Ian Healy's innings. This time it's brought him undone. Dean Headley taking a good catch in the deep.
The thing that will annoy Healy most is that he didn't fall for the trap. There was no trap attached to it. It was just a little bit loose down the leg side, and he could have hit it anywhere. He's hit it in the air and straight down, well, not quite straight down the throat of Headley. It's gone away to his left a little bit, but it was, as catches go in the deep, it was easy enough. Now that's broken the partnership. That is exactly what England so desperately wanted. 6 for 209.
28-year-old Victorian comes to the crease. Damien Fleming, 10 test matches, 71 not out, his highest score. Through it goes. Gee, it breaks your heart. It's happened again. Crucial times. The side just doesn't put it together.
Change at the southern end. It's Alan Mullally, who's not been over bowled, that's for sure. 9 overs, none for 30, but he's waxed sparkle. Oh, great shot. Mullally's just short and he's clubbed that. Magnificent hitter of the loose ball, Steve Waugh.
Get the feeling when Steve Waugh's facing Mullally and Dean Headley that he feels like he's going to hit a boundary pretty well every over.
Could be another 4, probably won't go, but beautifully played. Mullally just straying onto the pads. A good run for Steve Waugh, very keen. Back he comes, they throw the bowls in to be close, wrong end, no talking. Dear oh dear, great running, but poor outfielding.
Out. Caught at second slip, easily taken as well. So Hick, having dropped him, has now caught him. And that's a relief, there's no doubt about that.
That's another little nail pressed in by England. Good performance. Mullally hasn't quite had the same zest as in some of the earlier games. That slid off the face of the bat, straight to Graham Hick. Picks it up, which he didn't do before with the chance that was put down off Fleming. Went at one-handed. Mullally is either trying to get the crowd G'd up or trying to make them happy. It's 7 for 235.
So Matthew Nicholson is the new batsman, just 24 years of age, and out for his first innings in Test match cricket. Headley continuing. Well, he's off the mark. That's his first run in the big time.
Not only a keen young player, but smart as well.
Good shot, straight drive. Steve Waugh has not moved. Well, he's sort of half changed his mind now and he's trotting down the pitch. I think as he hit that one, he thought that's 4.
That's a fine shot.
Right, so Gough has got the ball. In the air and into the gap. They've got a man in there, short extra cover, hoping that one would be hit in the air, but it was wide of him and it's gone all the way to the fence. Well, he wasn't about to be frightened by the man coming in. It's a short extra cover there. He got stuck right into it, and it must have been about 2 metres, 3 metres wide of him. Oh, what a bowl. He's got him. He's bowled him out. What a magnificent delivery that was. Oh, yes, it's all over. Don't worry about that. That one went screaming through him. He fell over, actually. It was a wonderful delivery. A really fast Yorker. And the ball may well have deflected off either the foot or the pad. But you could hear the woody sound, that dreadful noise behind. And that's another very, very useful wicket. Gough again.
5 wickets for Darren Gough. Looked like a deflection and just flicked the bail and then went through to wicket-keeper Hick. And that is a very good day for Darren Gough. He's bowled beautifully. Got 2 yesterday and 3 today. Should have been on earlier. And has done very well indeed. Nicholson, the 7th wicket down. Steve Waugh on 77 not out. He has with him Stewart McGill. Last man in to follow McGill or follow Waugh will be Glenn McGrath.
Australia closing on England's 270. It's Dean Headley to take the new ball from the southern end. It's a bit of a surprise. I thought Fraser might have got an opportunity here. He's gone for it, and it's a big hit down the ground. Good carry. And it holds up. Let the charge away then, Stephen Waugh. I think he fancies Dean Headley a bit, to be quite honest. 82 overs bowled, and it's going to be Gough. He's going to take two, and if he gets it, it'll be a joke. It could be run out. Oh dear. Keeper was in front of the stumps. It was all happening. Terrible cricket by England. Great cricket by Stephen Waugh.
This might be rather interesting to see where it's going. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he's let go, McGill. Crashed it through, cover valuable runs. Back to Steve Waugh. 8 off the over. 8 for 273. Australia lead by 3. It's got it away. He'll go to 98. All run if it doesn't make the gutter. It does. Waugh goes to 98. It's in the air and it's safe. They'll run 2. 17 test hundreds for Stephen Waugh.
That's an amazing performance. Really has brought this whole stadium to life. Standing ovation from everyone within the MCG.
It's 4. Doesn't have to run.
Oh, what a shot. Unbelievable shot. Stand and deliver it is at the moment. Stephen Waugh has hit that one through cover. No one's moved.
Oh, and that's gone for 4. Nicely educated edge.
Yes, that's very frustrating. That brings up the 300.
At the moment, England are down and out.
Stewart McGill is... Now, I'm going to put on record that I do not believe that. That is the sloppiest thing you will ever see. Or perhaps not. You might see some more sloppy stuff. But that is very close to the sloppiest thing you will ever see.
The last hour and a half of cricket has been very ordinary from any nation. And that won't help lift their spirits either. 4 more to Stewart McGill. And the shoulders will droop even further. 8 for 327. That went quickly. It did give Alex Stewart a great chance of taking the catch. May not have picked it up either. McGill's hit it like a bullet.
It's a hell of a shot.
Gone, they've got him finally. Mullally breaks through. That's the end of McGill, but what a fine knock. Superb innings for a low order batsman and a wonderful partnership.
Yes, he got a pat from Steve Waugh earlier on when Steve reached his 100, and it was a well-deserved pat. Now he's getting a tremendous reception from the crowd here at the MCG. 43 with 3 fours. It's been sensible. And a very good knock, a terrific partnership to put Australia into a winning position. Stewart McGill eventually out for 43. It's 9 for 340.
Glenn McGrath got a tremendous ovation, as did Stewart McGill. 88-run partnership with Stephen Waugh has turned this match around when England win with a real chance of being a reasonable first innings lead. There's a catch they call. That's gone. He's bowled. How about that? He gave him a bounce, which he should have done. Struck maybe the shoulder or the bat, but bounced back onto the stump. So England have bowled Australia out for 340. A duck to McGrath, bowled by Mullally.
Well, it was all a bit too late for England. This is the sort of aggression they should have been showing long ago. This was a very good bouncer, well directed, and it might have clipped the glove before it smacked Glenn McGrath in the chest, and the backspin took it onto the stumps. Glenn McGrath had a boot at it. He was trying to kick it away, but because he turned his head away there as the ball hit him, he couldn't find it, and it spun back quite sharply onto the stumps. Steve Waugh, a magnificent innings, 122 not out, his 17th Test century, and he's helped to give Australia a lead of 70, and it's a tremendous lead, probably a match-winning lead, the way Australia are playing.
Well, that was a magnificent performance from the Australians. It looked at one stage as though England would have the lead, and then the Australians fought back magnificently. Steve Waugh, one of his better innings, not out 122. And now there's a wagging tail for you. Healy 36 and Fleming 12. Nicholson 5, playing in his first match, but stuck around with Steve Waugh. And then McGill 43, and that partnership with Steve Waugh was 88 from 122 balls faced. And that turned the whole thing around and gave the Australians a lead of 70, 340 from 98.3 overs. Now, the bowling figures for England, Darren Gough, the best and by far. 5 for 96 from 28 overs and 7 maidens. Headley, none for 86. Mullally, 3 for 64. And Fraser, 2 for 78 from 22 overs. We're going to join the England reply now in their second innings. And it's in the second over. None for 1. Fleming is the man coming into bowl. And he's bowling to the England captain, Alex Stewart. In the commentary box, Bill Laurie and Ian Chappell.
No ball called, and Stewart's off the mark.
Three coming off a no ball for Alex Stewart.
And on strike now to Fleming. Oh, that's got to be very close. Very, very close. No, it was a long wait for the shake of the head. Atherton survives. Was there a bit of bat there? Well, he's got him this time. He's bowled him neck and crop. It's 1 for 5, a pair, unfortunately, for Michael Atherton, but superb bowling by Fleming.
Yes, Michael Atherton once again going nowhere, neither forward nor back, just straight across the crease, and beautiful bowling from Damien Fleming. That ball really thudded into the pads, the previous one, after hitting the edge, and this one smashed into off stump, beating the outside edge. And Damien Fleming has really enjoyed that one. So a pair for the former England captain, a beautiful delivery, and England in early trouble.
England 1 for 5.
As Mark Butcher comes in at number 3, he's also on a pair, and immediately there's a bat pad in.
Oh, he's hit him on the full. Dear, oh dear. No, says umpire Buckner. What an over. That's 1 for 5. Charging in to Captain Stewart.
Ooh, what a good shot that is. Onto the back foot, playing the pull shot. Well, Stewart's decided that he really has to relieve the pressure by attacking here. This is his normal game. This is the way he played. He played very well in the first innings, played some very positive shots. And there's that drive again. Anything well pitched up, he goes after. This one won't get to the fence, but there'll be more runs for Stewart.
That's the way for Stewart to play, and that's a cracker. Superb late cut.
Yes, he really does excel with the horizontal bat shots.
It's going to be Matthew Nicholson to take up the attack. That is a fine shot. That's what we're talking about. He really hit through the line. This may go to the gutter. It's a long boundary. They should run 4. all run. It's 1 for 41. And Stewart McGill to bowl leg spin from the southern end. That's a fine shot. Late and square. Brings up the 5th. They should get 3. That's good running.
Oh, well. How did he catch that? Michael Slater is the man. To be brutally honest, I was looking far west to see where it had gone. He's taken a catch close to the wicket.
That is the most unbelievable catch that I've ever seen. A full-blooded sweep shot, and somehow he's come up with it. There's no way in the world the naked eye could keep track of this one. All one could see was that he seemed to hang. He must have hit it straight into his hand. As he buckled up, I think it buckled into him. Just have a look at this. As it goaded, there's Slater taking evasive action here. It goes straight into that, and he's clung onto it. Have a look at that. He's got it. It's unbelievable. Well, you won't see many of those. He hit it actually into the midriff of Slater, and Slater knew there was something there, closed his hand, and there was the ball. So, Butcher out for 14, 2 for 61.
4 more runs added to take it along to 2 for 65. With the night watchman in there, Dean Headley is not off the mark yet. Alex Stewart on 43, once again playing very well. And the wicket takers there, Fleming bowled magnificently today. 6 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 12. And McGill, 5 overs, 1 maiden and 1 for 14. So in effect, England are 2 for -5 at the moment, but we've got 2 enthralling days to come at the moment from the MCG. It's good night.
Of the 4th Test match between the Australians and England. Let's have a reminder of how things stand overnight. The Australians have a 5-run advantage, and they have already knocked 2 of England's top order over. Atherton has gone, so's Butcher. He was mighty unlucky, a sort of freak dismissal really, being caught in the midriff of Michael Slater at short leg. Everybody contributing as always for the Australians, not everybody for England. That's the problem at the moment. They're not playing as a unit, or quite to their potential. Now, I've mentioned Stewart McGill. It's quite likely to turn out in the middle. Let's get to the middle now and have a look at the pitch with Alan Border and first Ian Botham.
Thanks, Mark. Yesterday we saw a little variation in bounce from the seamers, but I think the big problem today is going to be Stewart McGill coming into this middle stump, middle and leg area. A little bit of bowlers follow through, variation and bounce. Alan Border's here with me. Good morning, Alan.
Morning, Ian. Yes, I think you're right. Trouble for the right-handers against Stewart McGill bowling from the southern end. We take a pace down the wicket. You can see the problems caused by these footmarks, a bit more prevalent now on the surface. And I think Stewart McGill will try and aim into this area to the right-handers and cause problems, either trying to sweep the ball against the turn or just getting a bit of extra bounce and turn from those areas. But I still think the quickies will play a role in this game. There's no question that Fleming and McGrath will still do something, but it could be Stewart McGill's day, but still very evenly poised, this game.
You can never write out Glenn McGrath out of the equation, but I think Stewart McGill is the key today. If Australia are going to win this game, he's the man that will bowl into this area and cause England problems. Back to you, Mark.
Yeah, both Border and Botham confirming the fact there that I think McGill will be the problem, McGrath as well. Everything depends on the remaining English top-order batsmen. Hick will come in at number 7 because the night watchman Dean Headley is there. Ramprakash has been in form. Nasser Hussein in form as well, and Stewart going very well. Let's get into the commentary box now and join Ian Botham again and Bob Willis.
Stewart McGill from the southern end, bowling to the night watchman Headley. Silly point, bat pad and a slip, and a man saving 1 on the sweep there for the top edge catch as well. So Ian, you're in the lobby that would say to Alex Stewart, burn those wicket-keeping gauntlets, say you?
I think I said at Adelaide that I felt he should give the gloves away. I don't think it's physically possible to keep captain and open the batting, and he's got to open. That's where he's best. He's best against the new ball.
Like it.
And I just feel that he does England and himself more justice up there when he strikes the ball best, when it's coming on to him. When he goes in and he's got the spinners on, he doesn't look anywhere near as composed.
So, OK, and we put you in David Graveney's shoes for a minute. Question 1, could Stewart open the batting and keep wicket and not captain the side? And question 2, if he captains the side and opens the batting, who's going to be the wicket-keeper batsman on a long-term basis? Headley on his way, first run of the day for England. Matt Nicholson doing the fielding at mid-on.
Well, in answer to your question, Bob, I'd say very much down to Alex Stewart, which way he wants to go. Something he'll have to sit down and decide. I would think that, personally, I don't really mind which way he goes. It's what I do want to see him, though, is at the top of the order. And there's an opportunity out there for a youngster or wicketkeeper who can bat, whether it be Warren Heggers in the side at the moment or one of the other county championship players. But there is a window there, and the man that wants it most will probably get it.
Similar field to Stewart, but there's no bat pad or man saving one behind square on the sweep shot.
Good bowling.
Good first over from McGill. With McGill in action straight away, we should have a better over rate than we saw yesterday. England were very dilatory indeed. Very samey look to their attack, the four seamers, and they could only achieve an over rate of 13 an hour. Crowd building up gradually here at the MCG. Very good gate yesterday, over 43,000. Over 55 unlucky patrons on Boxing Day when there was no play at all. Now, McGrath to Headley. Bowled him out. Perfect delivery for the tail ender. The night watchman goes. Headley's gone for one. And although he's only the night watchman, that early wicket will lift Australian hopes. England is still behind. They trail by 4. They've now only 7 wickets left.
And Glenn McGrath doing his job, getting rid of the tail ender come night watchman. Look at that reverse swing in. Now that's going to get a lot of better players out than Dean Headley. Now that reversed and then seamed. You said at the top of the show, Alan Bourne myself, we're doing the pitch report, that you can't write off Glenn McGrath. He's proved that. Stuart McGill had a good first over. Dean Headley's gone for 1, 66 for 3.
Vice-captain Nasser Hussain joins the skipper, Alex Stewart, and how their experience is needed now. England in trouble once again, 66 for 3. Hussain off the mark from his very first ball.
That's just too good. Dean Headley.
Wicket number 198 for Glenn McGrath. Stewart looking to leave the ball when McGrath pitches the ball up outside off stump. Have a look at this dismissal of Headley once again. Ball does jag back, hits middle stump, and not right at the top of the stump either.
McGrath getting regular movement. Another nip backer. See Healy diving down the leg side to take that one. It's a good looking shot. Stewart's first runs of the day. Three runs, so the scores are now level. England 7 wickets standing. Totals all square. Second 50 of the match for Alex Stewart. Well, the team may be crumbling around him, but you've got to admire this guy's guts. Back at his favourite opening berth, 100 in the first innings and now 50 in the second.
Well, that should end any discussions about where he should bat and what his role is in the side. Played very, very well.
Ball.
Is that pad first?
Stewart McGill thought so. Ian Healy certainly. It's pad first. Might. The only thing that might be a problem there is it might just have pitched outside. Stewart McGill doesn't think so.
Catch it! This time he's gone. Butler nods his head. Stewart waits for the finger to go up. He's not too happy with the decision. But the England captain has gone now. He's out for 52. England 78 for 4. And once again, the slide is on.
Stewart's not too happy about this. It's almost impossible to tell from there. The Australians, Stewart under pressure. He's gone for 57. England now all over the place at 78 for 4.
Mark Ramprakash joins Nasser Hussain. Ramprakash made 63 in the first innings. Terrific partnership with Alex Stewart. Of 119 in England's first go. There's going to be no partnership with Stewart this time round. Ramprakash off the mark. Taylor having some rare exercise in the outfield. Now, Ian, you have your doubts about this dismissal.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's any bat there. I think that's pad and straight out. Australians are convinced, but I'm not. I think, looking at Stewart McGill's reaction, I think he's struggling. That hamstring's causing him a problem. The umpire, Steve Buckner, thought it was out.
Good shot. Very strong through the covers, Nasser Hussain. And that 3 brings up the 100 for England. lateral play, giving himself room and smashing it away through extra cover for 4. Good aggressive stuff from Nasser Hussein.
Mark Taylor's brought Darren Lehmann up into the ring. Nasser Hussein gets the shortish ball and he takes full toll. Hits it well right into the gap. And with that fielder up now, races away for 4.
Well controlled sweep. Quicker, a bit flatter, and Headley and Healy at the start of the over say great length, keep aiming at those bits, and by that he means the foot holds outside Hussein's leg stump. The way Hussein's playing McGill will encourage the bowler, because he's attempting to hit anything that's bowled at him. Could be buys. It's a nasty ball for any wicketkeeper to take. Indeed it is buys.
Ian Healy's work has been outstanding up to the stumps, but even this one, this is just wide out to the foot marks. There's pads and bats flying. A real tough one for him to take. He'd be disappointed he didn't stop it.
McGill's come back over the wicket. Hussein's, well, he's got the full toss away, he's not timed it. And we'll get 3 more into Matthew Nicholson. Creeping up, it's up to 46 now. Ramprakash's turn to pick up a couple. McGill's not impressed. 9 from that over. Partnership building. It's up to 40 between Hussein and Ramprakash. And the other partnership of note, that between Butcher and Stewart. 56 yesterday evening. The airship's at work again. View of the Yarra River and central Melbourne. Huge applause for Matthew Nicholson, coming on for his second spell in this second innings. 4 overs, 1 maiden, none for 11 so far. Replacing Damien Fleming. And with Australia in such a strong position, England effectively 48 for 4. Nicholson has a chance to run in and just show exactly what he can do, bowl as fast as he can. Good steady start. His one Test match wicket is that of Nasser Hussein, who he got out in the first innings. He's young and raw and inexperienced, Matthew Nicholson. This is only his 8th first-class game. Good Yorker. Don't see too many of those. Haven't seen too many in the last couple of days.
Right on the money. He's got good pace, young Matthew Nicholson. Reminds me of a young Glenn McGrath.
It's just a little bit of movement there from Nicholson, just darting that one back into Hussein.
Generous applause from his wicketkeeper. Young Matthew Nicholson, he's got tremendous build for fast bowler, 6'5" or 6", and very lean. He's got a good action, plenty of pace, so all the ingredients are there.
Two takes England's lead up to 50. An interestingly set field that Taylor has got for Nicholson, especially now against Hussein, because he's left a huge gap between the bowler and some extra cover. This area here for Hussein to aim a drive through. And, he's got the 2 slips, and a staggered 4th slip. Ian Healey talking or indicating perhaps to Mark Taylor that would be the place to leave open for Hussein, to try and encourage him to drive, to try and get him to hit the ball through that mid-off area and bring in the slips, perhaps get him to play at the odd wide delivery as well.
Also, Paul, it's he prefers to hit the ball square, doesn't he? So maybe it's just trying to get him to hit areas that he's not as comfortable in.
Well, he's obliged there with a lovely off drive. Lynn doing the chasing. England are 1, 2, 3 for 4.
Was nicely played. That was done on purpose. It was a bit of face of the bat, a bit of edge, but he was more in control of that than he looked, for sure.
Yes, we used to criticise Nasser Hussain earlier in his career for playing those sort of half-back to one-day shots, but this is good control. He was well aware there was no third man there, and it counts for 4 runs, just the same as a screaming extra cover drive.
Partnership of 49 now between Ramprakash and Hussein. Hussein has 34, Ramprakash 14. Stewart McGill, who fielded that ball at short extra cover, finishes an 11-over spell this morning, 1 for 30 in that spell, which included the important wicket of Alex Stewart, of course.
Not sure McGill's 100% fit. You see him there just pulling up early in that chase for the ball. He's had a hamstring problem for a couple of weeks now. And if indeed Taylor is taking him out of the attack and not changing the end that he's going to bowl from, I think that is a bit of a moral victory for Ramprakash and Hussein. It also begs the question mark if McGill isn't going to be fit for the next match. Which spinner would they play? Or spinners at Sydney?
Yeah, there's a blonde fella playing for Victoria who's all right.
Wouldn't be Shane Warne by any chance?
Well, I'll give you a clue. He's got more than 300 Test wickets already. We could, of course, just turn around and ask Alan Border, who's one of the Australian selectors, though he's shaking his head as if to say, not telling you blokes. Colin Miller would be the first choice of the finger spinners, who bowled well in Adelaide. Gavin Robertson would be the second choice of the finger spinners, though he pulled up and didn't play or take any part in the game down in Hobart for the Australian 11 against England. And after that, no doubt about it, Warne would be the most likely choice. And of course it would be an almost perverse move of the Australian selectors to bring back Warne for the coup de grace on a turning pitch at Sydney.
Yeah, difficult Shield season though. Shane Warne not rolling sides over by any means. Warne captains Victoria these days.
2nd of January the Sydney Test starts, which is in just a few days' time. Now, it does raise an interesting point, the Warne issue, because after the one-day series, Australia have to settle on a side to go to the West Indies. McGill is very, very likely to go on that trip. Miller would be a useful utility player to go on the trip. But it wouldn't be unlikely or out of order, I think, to take 3 spin bowlers. Got it. That's a good one. That is a good one from Matt Nicholson. The youngster strikes. Ramprakash is gone.
Well, that's a poor stroke from Mark Ramprakash. The partnership's broken just when the England supporters sitting a bit more easily. Another wicket goes down. Matt Nicholson picks up his 2nd Test match wicket. Through the gate, really, no movement of the front foot. Caught in no man's land. A rather embarrassing dismissal for Mark Ramprakash. He goes for 14. It's now 127 for 5.
Graham Hick taking guard, asking for 2 legs from umpire Darryl Harper. Hick will be confronted by Matt Nicholson on a bit of a high after that one, nipping it back off the seam and disturbing Ramprakash's off stump. There are 3 slips and a gully in place immediately. No short leg, which just surprises me a little bit, with the hint of uneven bounce and the movement available off the seam.
Disappointing end for Mark Ramprakash. The top-class players don't get bowled that often. The problem here is lack of foot movement. Just trims the top of off stump, removing the one bail. It was the length that was Ramprakash's undoing. Just shuffle across the crease. Ball seams back into him. Takes the off stump.
Swell bowled. it is fascinating to watch the way Australia are able to incorporate a young fast bowler into, well, a young bowler, don't mind whether he's fast, slow or whatever he bowls, into their setup. I mean, if you look on paper at the attack, McGrath and Fleming, Nicholson the other seamer, McGill with an injury problem, you wouldn't necessarily think that they'd made the right decision. But what they're doing is they're putting a guy in with two blokes in perfect form, Fleming and McGrath, the confidence of the team on a high. So he's in the right buzz. He comes into something that's really moving well for Australia, and he feels a part of a success. So his confidence will be high. He won't be phased. That's Ian Healy taking the ball after it had trimmed the bails of Mark Ramprakash. And really, it's a very moot point, Bob, whether if Nicholson was playing county cricket, whether the England selectors would have turned to him.
Well, it's almost unheard of for a player to be thrown in after just 7 games. We've seen the poor, desperate almost England selectors throwing in the Ben Hollyoaks and Andrew Flintoffs, who didn't have that much experience, but at least 2 or 3 times more experience than Nicholson.
It's the second time that Hussein has got the ball down to third man, absolutely on purpose. He always used to guide the ball into that area, and sometime in his early days it was an undoing, it was a technical fault. These days he presents the face of the bat in defence and uses the open blade as an opportunity to score.
Well, Fleming wasn't happy with himself before that delivery. He's disgusted with himself now. Almost a gift to Hussein.
And again, super batting.
Good over for England, 9 coming from it. Hussein moves into the 40s. He's 42. Graham Hick's got 4. England leading by 69.
Matty Nicholson is continuing from the members' stand end of the ground. Lovely bright sunshine around the MCG now. There was some control in that stroke from Hick. We've seen a lot of runs to third man this morning already. So he's retained his shape over the ball, and he's got nice control of the pace of the bat there, letting the pace of the ball run away. Time for a change in the commentary box. Here, Ian Botham and Paul Abbott.
Thanks, Mark. England are up to 149. Nicholson, Ian, looks a different proposition in this innings.
Well, I think probably a bit of nerves in the first innings, and, with every right to be. Only his 8th first-class game. But he's got a little reverse swing out there. He's bowled at a lively pace. I think he's one for the future.
Yes, the Australian selectors' faith being repaid. Doing a good job here. Oh, glorious shot. Absolutely wonderful cover drive from Graham Hick. Brings up the 150 for England.
To say, I would just be thinking about putting Glenn McGrath back into the attack just before lunch. It's vintage Hick. reason to run for that. He knows it's gone. Just over pitching, a bit of width. And that's what I think England have got to do. They've got to be positive. There's no point in just scratching around.
You have to get his skates on here. Just picks it up inside the boundary. A shake of the head and another mumble and grumble.
It's great to see that kind of commitment, though, isn't it, to your game? He's not happy with the throw, he's not happy with the way he's bowling at the moment, he's not happy with the decision. And all he's doing is just getting himself going, firing himself up, and he's still having a little chat.
Yeah, different players gee themselves up in different ways. Some, like McGrath, obviously like to make as much noise and fuss as possible. Others just simmer away quietly and don't really show any outward signs. It's a good shot. It's just what the full toss deserved. Smashed away through mid-wicket.
Third umpire, Paul?
It might be the fourth or the fifth. Swept away fine. Well, McGrath's in action. I'll be pleased with that throw. Three more for Graham Hick. He's very quick at seizing onto the back ball. England's lead goes above 100. That's 50 for Nasser Hussain. Third 50 of the series for Nasser Hussain. He's had two in the 40s as well.
Hussein's gone again. You can't believe it. It's a bonus wicket for Nicholson. Nasser Hussain goes just as the partnership begins to blossom. Down goes a wicket. Hussain's out for 50 to a wide long hop.
Well, this is a huge bonus for the Australians. All very happy. Young Matthew Nicholson gets the breakthrough again. The end of a tremendous innings from Nasser Hussain. Probably just trying to overplay the shot. Lifts it slightly. Michael Slater takes a good catch there at backward point. The Australians celebrate, and England in a bit of strife now at 6 for 178.
Well, what a moment for Warren Hegg. He's in at number 8. He's facing Matt Nicholson. Made just 3 in the first innings. Well, Hussein's eyes lit up when he saw this ball from Nicholson. Could really have hit it anywhere on the offside, but straight to Slater. He takes another good catch. Australia work very hard in practice at their fielding and catching. They don't miss much. That's got past Slater. They'll only get the 3. Huge boundary down there. Ball coming in via Darren Lehman.
Very good shot there from Graham Hick. Let the ball come to him. Didn't try and overplay the shot. I talk about that a lot. I thought Darren Lehman, for instance, in the Australian innings, tried to overplay the shot and catches the edge and is out. And I think Nasser Hussain did the same thing. Eyes lit up with the ball outside his off stump and just tried to hit the ball too hard and just lost control of the shot. Graham Hick didn't make that same mistake.
Haig off the mark. Slater charging away on the other side of the wicket now. Saw Slater take that brilliant catch to dismiss Mark Butcher yesterday. Justin Langer took an excellent catch in the first innings to dismiss Mark Butcher. It's a great delivery. Poor stroke from Haig. You can see Nicholson growing in confidence each over he bowls.
That's the Warren Haig that is successful for his county. Gives it a fearful flay outside off stump, and third man in deep cover, better beware.
Just wondering how much the Australians would have seen of Warren Haig. Two of them have played a fair bit of county cricket against him, so they should have some idea. That's the one place you don't bowl to him.
No, I mean, there's plenty of them out there who would have a very good idea of how Warren Haig would play. The Waugh brothers for a start. Michael Slater, Justin Langer, plenty of them. And I should think the team tactic will be to bowl about there.
Yeah, trying to get him to come forward.
That's a good place to hit it. Gee, hit that hard. 4 more for Graham Hick. Going down the leg side, but another good Yorker. Interesting and dangerous weapon that from Matthew Nicholson. A number of times we've seen him pull out the Yorker, and it nearly has got through England defences.
Just sliding down the leg side. Didn't enjoy that though. That's hit him on the top of the foot. He didn't saw. Usual sand crusher. Sand shoe crusher. Painful.
This time they've got a third man in place. And he's interestingly placed too, because he's a fair way up from the boundary's edge. Short third man. That's a pretty good position, I'd say, for Hegg.
It's a fly slip, isn't it, position? We were saying how much Australians out there that know Hegg, they've certainly done their homework, and they've certainly told the young Matthew Nicholson a bit about him, I'm sure, as well.
Yes, they're placing Gully very deep now. Steve Waugh is right back here, some 10 yards deeper. There's the short third man, and cover is very, very square and also very deep. So they've got three guys, all suffering from Ian Botham's work with a pen. But three guys in position for Warren Hegg. Just delighted to have the chance, he said. Couldn't really believe that it had suddenly come relatively late in his career. And probably up until, say, a week ago, wouldn't have even thought that Alex Stewart would relinquish the gloves, which of course he's now done to give Hegg his opportunity. But I'm just going to enjoy it, were the words that Hegg uttered when he knew he had his opportunity. There he goes again. There's a man out, and he's fallen for the trap. That is a poor piece of cricket from Warren Hegg. That is set up, and he has walked straight into it. Matthew Nicholson able to bowl where Mark Taylor suggested, and that's a soft dismissal by England.
Well, the drawing might not have been the best. Warren Hegg is always hitting this in the air. McGill's there for it. That's a good catch. He's struggling a bit with his hamstring, Stewart McGill, but he made the ground. Matthew Nicholson picks up another wicket. Warren Hegg has gone for just 9. And England now, you feel, in all kinds of trouble at 202 for 7.
Darren Gough is the new batsman for England. He comes in on the back of a staggering misjudgment by Warren Hegg. And there's a danger of Graham Hick, who's playing extremely well, being left stranded here. Gave that a thump.
It's a difficult situation for Graham Hick. The way I see it, I think now he's got selective hitting. So you have to say that you're a brave man that has any faith in what's left in the hutch for England. History tells you there's not much to come.
We don't see Ian Healy let many pop out of the gloves.
Well, that's the one. It's short and it's wide. Warren Hegg accepts the bait. Stewart McGill does the rest.
Very well done. He can be proud of that innings. Good 50. You see, what's so frustrating about this is that in the previous over, Hegg played that shot and there was no third man down there. Orthodox gullies, orthodox cover. This over, they've changed the whole thing round. Push gully back, push cover squarer, deeper, and put a third man down short. So they're not saying we're putting him all the way on the fence in order to save the boundary. We're going to have him as an attacking catcher, 20 yards in, 15 yards in. The first opportunity to play the same stroke, Hegg plays it and hits it straight down his throat. I mean, you know, you can be as kind as you like, but that's a bad bit of cricket. It's 207 for 7. That's better. Get Graham Hick back on strike. Very fine straight drive. Everything in position. And again, hit very hard.
Lovely shot. On the ground. Timed and placed.
They've asked the question, but Steve Buckner isn't even prepared to answer it, I don't think. Now, we've got a warning here. Steve Buckner is telling Matthew Nicholson that he can no longer run on the pitch without further warnings. He's getting beyond the 5-foot mark and is being told off for it. He's allowed one more warning, and then the third time he'd be taken off.
That's what you do on a flat wicket.
Well, play it again. He got a little hurried, but he didn't worry about it. He just went on through with the stroke. He's starting to hit the ball really well.
Well, unorthodox but effective. I think it's just got on to it a little bit quicker than he was expecting. But he's shows how well he's seeing it.
Graham Hick is 60. Gough is on 4, and England lead by 151. Big appeal. McGill thinks he's out. The umpire thinks he's out. He's gone. Caught at short leg, Darren Gough. I don't think he likes it very much. It was a quicker ball, fuller, dipped. And Gough has gone, and Hick stranded at the non-striker's end.
Well, Hick will be a bit annoyed because I think he feels that there should have been 2 for his last pull shot. That was the skidding top spinner, or attempted to be, and looked as though there was some bat there. And umpire Harper says yes, there was. So Darren Gough is gone, and England 221 for 8.
Sky
Angus Fraser is in at number 10 for England, with considerable responsibility in front of him. He's got to give as much of the strike as he can to Graham Hick, and he's facing Stewart McGill. Very good piece of umpiring, good decision to give Darren Gough out here. Never easy when there's a flurry of bat and a bit of boot and all sorts of things. And it's boot, inside edge, a bit of pad probably as well. I'm not sure that that's the best way for Angus Fraser to be playing.
It's a pretty courageous decision as well there by umpire Harper, but a good one. Michael Slater with the 4th catch of the innings.
Gone now. Super leg stump Yorker from Damien Fleming. He really does bowl that well. Stunning bit of bowling and very good innings. And England are 9 down.
Well, no thought of giving Hick the single and having a dash at the tail ender, Angus Fraser. It was all out to get rid of Graham Hick. And what a beautiful in-swinging Yorker it was from Damien Fleming. He's produced one in the last game and now another one in this one. He's 221 for 9.
Alan Mullally in at number 11, and some would say it's his rightful place. In fact, probably all would say. He got 4 runs at Adelaide. Had a duck in the first innings here.
And Damien Fleming, his head went back very sharply as soon as he bowled that delivery. Not this one that got rid of Graham Hick. That was a beauty. Late in-swing, not quite a Yorker probably, but a very good line to Graham Hick.
It's off the mark. So it won't be 6 ducks. Naught at Brisbane, a pair at Perth, Norton 4 at Adelaide, and Norton 1 here at Melbourne for Alan Mullally. Fraser will pick up just 2 here.
Angus Fraser doing the right thing there. The field is up, particularly on the onside. No one out in front of the wicket. As soon as he saw it on his pads, he was playing aggressively.
Good slow ball that Fraser hasn't picked at all. He's just poked at it but got away with it.
He does bowl a pretty good slow ball. Generally it's the off-cutter style, and he sort of does it by it's almost a split finger type of delivery.
Pick up 2 more here. Fraser solidly forward. And leaves Alan Mullally on strike to Stewart McGill. The last rights here for England's second innings. Mullally with 3 men round the bat. He's hit it hard and high over long on, and he'll pick up 4. It's a pretty sensible thing to do.
Exactly the right thing to do with the fieldsman all in around him. He certainly wasn't making any runs defending. And I guess there's a few bowlers up in Queensland that are just feeling a little bit better now. Didn't Alan Mullally get 20 odd in that last wicket partnership and win the game against Queensland?
Did indeed, up at Cairns in partnership with Robert Croft. Well, keep hitting straight if you're going to hit. Don't look to drag it over square leg. For this unless they run 4. Happy to take 3.
It's a good sensible ploy from Alan Mullally. Everything that's up there and within reach. He's a tall man, he's using his reach and should be strong enough. Give it a good clout. All these runs are handy.
His favourite sweep. 2, 3, 4 for 9. And Alan Mullally is having a chuckle.
I bet there are a few of those 20 odd scored in the region from sort of point to third man.
They all count though. It's all part of the field. Now then.
Well, he is doing the right thing here. He's obviously decided if it's up, he's going to try and whistle it into the outfield. But he's also not taking a backward step. He's indicated to McGrath that, OK, I'm here. I'm going to try and get a few runs. Gus Fraser's perhaps told him maybe the odd defensive shot wouldn't go astray.
McGrath's not one to let anybody get away, is he? Because he's gone round the wicket now. And there's an old score to settle here as well. Mullally bounced McGrath out. McGrath got in a horrible tangle. And McGrath is coming round the wicket now to pose even more problems to Mullally.
It was interesting that Mullally went around the wicket to pin McGrath.
This is the end of McGrath in the first innings. Very good bouncer. Fended off and, well, spinning back onto the stumps. Looked rather ungainly. Is McGrath having a go back? And that's well played. Now that's what Mullally should be doing. Good stuff.
Now, it's interesting. Now this is where, when I go back, I've always said that there were plenty of teeth in the old law. I think it was about law 42 to do with short pitch bowling, and I always thought that perhaps the umpires needed a bit more assistance from the administrators. I don't think they probably got the full backing of the administrators under that old law.
Oh, good shot, straight back over the bowler's head, and timed as well. And it's 4. Biggest cheer of the day.
Well, he's done the right thing here. He's given McGrath something to think about. He's let McGrath know that he's not just going to fold up and go away. played a good defensive shot. Now he's decided that anything that's up is going to go, and that's a sensible way to play also, with the fact that the field is up.
And again, and that's with interest. Nothing wrong with that. Keeping his eye on the ball and hitting through the line, and McGrath can go away to fine leg and chunder away to himself all he likes. It's a good Yorker and it's well played.
Well, Alan Mullally is doing basically what Stuart MacGill did. Once a tail-ender starts swinging the bat and swinging it with intent, the captain's got to make a decision. Does he put some blokes out into the outfield and spread the field, or does he keep attacking in the hope that he'll get the edge into the slip cordon?
It's in the air. Slater doesn't know where it is. He does now. He's been barged out of the way by Glenn McGrath, who's done the job off his own bowling, and that's the end of England's innings. It's all smiles now. Mullally has gone eventually, and England are all out for 244. That's the end of Mullally. Slater trying to take the catch, hovering around underneath Glenn McGrath. Big hand for Fraser and Mullally. 244 all out.
That was a very handy flurry from Alan Mullally at the end. One doesn't know yet how valuable those runs may be, but Mullally looked a different person after the mickey taking he's had from his batting so far on the tour. Stewart, Hussein and Hick all making 50s, and the Australian bowlers contributed as a unit, as they so often do. Nobody outstanding, all of them extremely good. That is the situation of the match as we enter the final innings of it. 175 for the Australians to win, and 10 wickets if England are to be heroes. We'll take a short break, and after it we'll see whether or not England can indeed be heroes.
Darren Gough to Michael Slater.
Yes, well, I suppose I have seen a few miraculous batting collapses from Australians over the years. I've been a part of quite a few snatching defeat from the jaws of victory type batting performances in the second innings. This group of players are slightly different. They're used to winning, so there's a different psychology about chasing this sort of target. But I don't think it's a done deal by any stretch of the imagination, Ian. I think particularly with the new ball, anything could happen.
Well, I think that's the crux of the matter, isn't it? England have got to take 2, 3, or ideally 4 wickets, really, in the first 20 overs, 25 overs, to give themselves a realistic chance. This side have fallen short once not so long ago, so it will be in the back of their minds. Back to 97 in England, and there's quite a few players in that side that are still here. Mark Taylor, Mark Waugh, Steve Waugh, Ian Healy, Ben McGrath. So they'll all be thinking, they'll be in the back of the mind, chasing 124. Were bowled out at the Oval for just 104.
Yes, Ian, but you had a left-arm spinner bowling. I don't see any spinners out there in the England camp.
So you're critical of the England selection?
Well, I think I can understand them. The two off-spinners that they've brought on tour have struggled to take wickets. I thought Peter Such did a pretty good job in Adelaide. Took some wickets there, some important wickets, particularly on that first day when it was so hot. He bowled very well.
Yeah, I just find it strange that you would just bring two off-spinners on tour. That's where I would say the selection was wrong in the initial party.
Well, that's right, and if you go back to that original selection, yes, fair enough. Yeah, I was very surprised that two off-spinners. If they were crackerjacks, you can understand it, but they are journeymen, really, aren't they?
Yeah, and I suppose the other glaring mistake, which has been put right to a degree, was Graham Hick not being in the original party, because he has looked probably as good as anyone over here. Edged and flown away for streaky runs. Now, was that at catchable height?
Well, this is the way Michael Slater's going to approach this. He's going to be all-out attack. He's got away with it on this occasion. Probably, maybe got a hand on it, but it was going to be a tough call. It really flew off the bat, so it was coming. But Mark Butcher was a little late on that. Maybe didn't pick it up as early as he liked.
Yeah, I think the bowlers, well, they don't enjoy it being dropped, but I think they feel a little better if someone gets a hand on it. This is a strange choice between Headley. Now, you see, that is catchable height. He's just late on it. Alex Stewart must be wondering what he's got to do. Now, I find this amazing. I'd have given the ball to Alan Mullally. He's been out there, he's fired up. 16 runs, bit of a goer. And also the psychology of it. He was given the new ball. We do some strange things. I mean, Alan Mullally was the pick of the bowlers in Brisbane, and I think he should have the ball here. Can't afford to let the Australian players get away.
Well, Ian, we'll soon find out. I know you're not happy with that first ball. Here's another look at the Michael Slater thick edge. There was catchable height, but just late to it. Maybe just didn't pick it up quickly off the bat. But they're the sort of things that England have just got to take, as simple as that.
The Australian openers have made their intentions quite clear. They're going to be positive. I think that's the right approach. Well, it's short, it's gloved away. It's 4 more. It's not what he intended. Seven of 2 balls.
Well, this can happen. You get a bit pumped up and trying to bang the ball in short. Wasn't a convincing shot, but as we've said all along, fortune favouring the brave. Catching the glove. So a little bit of a win to the bowler, but unfortunately for him, it flies away for 4. I think the reason I'd like to see Alan Mullally, if he's not taking wickets, he's still bowling tight.
Good running. Bit of sideways movement there off the seam, and that's why it's so crucial. This new ball, really have to strike, and strike early.
The Australians are going to be very aggressive with running between the wickets, their shot selection. They realise you don't want to get bogged down when you're chasing a smallish target. The wicket's going to be a little bit difficult early on.
And again, good aggressive running.
It might have been tight, Michael Slater's liking. And Mullally, of course, left-handed. Actually made it quite easily in the end. It sounded like two noises there. I'm sure there's a little bit of inside edge, and it seemed to be quite a way down. Steve Buckner wasn't interested.
I think this is a pretty good shout, Ian. I'm interested to see the replay. I think that might have been pad then bat, if anything. If it's hit the pad first, so you've got to say that it's a pretty good shout. Almost identical to Nasser Hussain's.
Now, let's just have one more look at this. My initial reaction when I heard it, stump mic, was there's just a little bit of two noises, but the more I look at it, yeah, I think there is just a little inside edge. Yeah, I think that's actually a very good decision. Giving me up, but width and dispatched.
Well, this is just unbelievable shot. This Michael Slater he's a bit of a pocket battleship. It's not a half volley by any stretch of the imagination. Just wide of the off stump, and Michael Slater's just smashed that through the offside. That is a fantastic cricket shot. Good footwork. Very compact in the way he held the bat through the line of the ball.
No ball. That won't please Alex Stewart, believe me.
Just a few calming words from Nasser Hussain. Sometimes the old adrenaline pumps a bit hard through the fast bowlers, and they try and bowl just a little bit too fast, and trying to gain that extra bit of pace, they overstretch and they just don't bowl as well as they might. More runs to Mark Taylor. It's one of those wickets that you probably don't need to be right at absolute quickest. It's more just bowling a good corridor and using the new ball, get the seam up.
Well, that's the one thing that Fleming and McGrath do so well, isn't it? That seam comes down, hits just about every ball.
We just have to ask Mike Atherton what it's like facing those two Australian bowlers first up. It's a real struggle. The ball just comes down, you know, the seam straight up. More runs to Michael Slater. Again, hit on the rise. Not going to take on Gus Fraser's arm for a third. But very positive stuff.
The seam comes out of Dean Headley's hand, wobbling around. It's proving a little expensive, Dean Headley. Now that's got to be very, very close. It's kept low, looked back, and that was right in front. And I think Michael Slater gave himself out.
I think you're right, Ian. He was walking off almost as soon as it hit him on the pads. Interesting to see this one on replay. All pitches. stays low, and yes, that's going to hit middle stump halfway up.
Well, Steve Buckner had doubts, but I think Michael Slater gave himself out. It was Plum. He's gone for 15, and it's 31 for 1. Hussein and Ramprakash just having a look at the surface. But a pretty good series, Hussein and Ramprakash. England needed that early breakthrough. Now, if they can pick up a couple more, maybe game's on. End of the over, 31 for 1. There it is. Michael Slater just starts to walk. I'm convinced he does. He knows it's nipped back, he knows it's kept low, and he's on his way before Steve Buckner gave him out. And Headley needed that because Michael Slater was just starting to get into him, and more importantly, the England team needed it.
Plenty of support for England. A lot of people booked and paid for trips to Melbourne and Sydney. Some of them leaving just before Christmas from the UK, others leaving on Boxing Day. Didn't know England were going to be out of contention for the Ashes before they booked. That's a good shot. Key thing to look for here is the way that Taylor waits for the ball and plays it behind square.
Yeah, he's been setting himself for this all over, really, knowing that Gough is going to stray outside off stump. But that is a beautiful exhibition of how to play the square cut. Waited for it, hit it down. Taylor goes on to 14.
Taylor will be back for 2. Ramprakash chasing from short leg. Interestingly, Paul, there's no third man for Alan Mullally. Much more cover in front of the wicket for Mullally, encouraging the left-arm seamer to pitch the ball up.
No, there's no gully either. That's a strange one. There's 5 men saving 1 when England need wickets. I'd have this man at backward point in here catching at gully. I'd also have a man in here at short leg. I think something that perhaps lets Alex Stewart down at times, his field placings and the amount of aggression he shows in those field placings and the amount of imagination. This is a fairly stock field, and you'd also hope that the bowler of the experience of Alan Mullally would say, look, I want to attack a little bit more than this. There's movement there. It's not well directed, but there is movement. I can't help thinking that Mullally perhaps thinks, oh, well, let's just set the field back from the first over. Don't want them to get away to a flyer. And that's a negative approach. There, the 2 men saving 1 on the leg side and the 3 on the offside.
Taylor's gone for that. And taken. Was in the air a long time, that. Mullally strikes in his first over. The Australian captain's on his way back to the pavilion. England are very much alive here.
Well, I said Mullally had to be fired up from his first ball. This is a good bouncer. It's got just a little bit more pace on it than Mark Taylor thought. Bounced a bit more. It's a top edge, and it's gone an awful long way up into the air, and that is a very good catch from Dean Headley. Taylor has gone. He's gone for 19, and Australia are now 41 for 2.
Mark Waugh comes out to join Justin Langer. Mark Waugh at the non-striker's end. The batsman crossed while the ball was in the air a very long time down to Dean Headley. Headley fielding down in front of a whole group of English supporters. Caught Ian Healy very well in the first innings in that long leg position. It was a very good catch to dismiss the Australian skipper. Hick diving forward, he couldn't hang on. Terrific first over from Alan Mullally. A wicket maiden for him.
Well, did that carry? Yeah, it did. Straight in and straight out. But it's diving forward and to his right. But if England are going to win this Test match, they've got to take chances like that.
Well, poor old Graham Hick, another left-hander, doesn't get snapped up. Memories go back to Trinidad, where he dropped Shivnarine Chanderpaul. And England were well placed to win there. Dean Headley, on the other hand, made no mistake. Top edge from Taylor. Ball was on him quicker than he was expecting. Not so Dean Headley, he had a very long wait to take the catch.
Good catch. Really good catch.
Mark Waugh off the mark. He'll look to come back for 2. He's made it.
Good throw from Mullally. This is nervy stuff from Australia. Mullally had to run round there. Was there any need to come back for 2? Just in. If it had hit, then Waugh would have been gone.
Mark Waugh really had to accelerate here. I just saw him feeling the back of his hamstring there. He's really at full tilt.
Masses of English supporters here, chanting the football songs today, and with big grins on their faces. That's well timed. Didn't try to hit it too hard. And as ever, with every Mark Waugh stroke, it's got a very elegant look about it. It brings up the 50 for the Australians. First little milestone for them.
Important one for the dressing room. I just feel that you've just got to make things happen. You can't sit back and wait in these situations.
Good half stop. and an important half stop too. Otherwise we'd have had Fraser kicking the ground in disgust. It was well struck by Langer.
I think you might see Angus Fraser going around the wicket. As I speak, he moves to go around the wicket to Justin Langer. I think they have a theory, because he looks to play the square cut, and he's very strong in there. If they can just get the ball angling into him, it makes that shot a little more difficult to execute. This is a fine stop though. Saved 2 runs. Langer actually reminds me, Justin Langer, a little bit of Kevin Vessels, the way he used to play. And Bob Willis soon came to the conclusion that the best, because he set himself up very much for square the wicket offside, and then he would shovel it on the leg side. And he worked out very quickly that by coming around the wicket, he could time out and cause Kevin Vessels a lot of problems, particularly in one series. He had to go away and rethink his game. I think this is a good move.
Second time this over that Angus Fraser has been a touch short.
He can't be at his pace, not on this wicket. And you must know now that Justin Langer's going backwards. You've watched him score a lot of runs for Middlesex, and he knows the 2 shots he loves is this pull and square cut. You're better off in actual fact bowling probably 6 to 12 inches further up than normal to him.
Langer's climbed into that. It's a beautiful shot.
Knowing the competitor he is, he'll be very disappointed with that Gus Fraser. Too short, too wide. Justin Langer likes the ball in this zone. Hits it very firmly in front of square. And that's not the place to bowl.
Gone fine. Goff can't get there. That's 4. That particular boundary will have brought generous applause from the Australian dressing room. That's the boundary that takes them below the 100 runs required. 97 needed now.
This is the danger when you go around the wicket, the extra angle. You get into the left-hander's leg stump, and that's what can happen.
Darren Gough is bowling now from the southern stand end. It's an intriguing situation, Ian, but can't help feeling that England yet again, the drop catch by Hick has tilted the balance Australia's way.
Yes, that was a big moment because England were on the roll. They'd got Slater, then they got Taylor. Next ball could have been Langer.
As it is, Langer's still there and playing well with his newfound confidence. 100 to Adelaide has made him a much more bristly player.
Unfortunately for England, that's been the history of the series for them. They'll play well, they'll play some very good cricket, and just when they need to do something extra to capitalise on the good cricket, bang, that's when they make a mistake. Graham Hick, I've got to say that he's when I've seen him, he's not much more than a 50% man in the slips, and you don't get in the slips full time in my book at 50% catching rate.
Oh, good shot. He's got his weight just right, head over the ball, hit the ball down, and Mark Wall will pick up 3. Oh, what a brilliant catch by Ramprakash at square leg. That is absolutely superb. And it's just exactly what England wanted. A bit of brilliance.
Makes you wonder what he's been doing the rest of the series. He's dropped a couple of absolute dollies in the field, and suddenly Hussein and Langer is walking off and he's shaking his head. He's just hammered a very good pull shot, and Ramprakash has taken a brilliant catch. Richie Benaud's been telling me all summer what a brilliant fielder Ramprakash is. Now I've seen a glimpse of what he's talking about. That's brilliantly taken. And as you quite rightly say, that's what England need, and he's trying to fire everybody up. Ramprakash saying, let's go, we can still win this. It's 103 for 3.
Australia's hero of the first innings, Stephen Waugh, comes to the crease. 122 not out in the first innings. And big moment here with Australia 103 for 3. They still need 72 to win, and this is the big wicket for England. Here's Mullally bowling to Waugh. Stunning catch by Mark Ramprakash to get rid of Hussein and Langer. Has given them one more glimmer of hope.
He really goes on the charge in the field, Mark Ramprakash. He was charging in and then had to throw himself to the right. Then he was looking for anybody he could find in the England side to tell them, we've still got a chance in this game. Very good catch. It's gone right into the middle of the hand. Now, where are they? Come on, we can win this. I think the adrenaline is going.
Whatever makes you think that, Ian. Crashed that through the offside. It's going to be 4. And that's not good stuff from Dean Headley. Mark Waugh's under 37, brother Steve on 4.
Just been saying that it seems almost certain with the improved light here that play will end this evening, one way or the other, and with strokes like that it might be Australia's victory. I think under 50 now needed. That is a cream cracker of a cover drive.
Well, Michael Slater played one earlier, and I don't know whether this is not better. That is just awesome power. The use of the wrists in that shot is just awesome. He gets so much power just with that short back lift, followed through.
There's a man down at third man. Waugh will want to come back for 2 and decides not to in the end. They know that Mullally has got a very good, fast, flat throwing arm, and they're wise not to risk it. Things are going Australia's way, so now isn't the time for panicky running. Question of measured control and thump the loose ball, and dare I say it, but you wouldn't wish for 2 batsmen more likely to win you a game under pressure than these two, the Waugh brothers. And McGill has made the ball spin. Darren Gough is down at long leg. One of the reasons why I think going into a test match on a pitch that starts pretty dry, I know there was some moisture there because of the covering and the delay of the day, the surface essentially was dry underneath. It had some dampness on top, and I think going to a match without a specialist spinner at all in test match cricket, the length of the game, I think it's a terrible risk.
I agree. And do you think that the thinking in the England camp would have been that they'd get more out of their 4th seamer than the second spinner?
Edged, got him. Now then, as we speak of the strength of the Waugh brothers. A little error from Waugh, good bit of bowling from Headley, and a nice catch from Graham Hick.
Well, just when we think the game's drifting towards the Australians, the Englishmen fight back. This is a good ball, just straightens up a little, and Graham Hick takes a very good catch there at second slip. Well bowled Dean Headley. Mark Waugh makes 43, and Australia now 4 for 130.
Darren Lehmann, the new batsman, plays for Yorkshire in the county championship. Brought back into the side by the Australian selectors in place of Ricky Ponting. Got out playing a pretty flamboyant stroke in the first innings, and will feel the heat here, I'm sure.
You'd absolutely guarantee that there's a fair bit of adrenaline pumping through the veins. He's a naturally aggressive player. So if he gets started, well, it could be over tonight, definitely. But yes, he can be a bit of a nervy starter.
Have another look here at the end of Mark Waugh. Very good bit of bowling from Dean Headley. It was much quicker, I think, than Waugh anticipated. Just caught him a little on the crease and playing away from his body. Just feeling for it rather than making the positive stroke that he does when he attacks.
You just get the feeling he was looking to hit that on the onside. Ball just straightened on him a little, not a hell of a lot. And Graham Hick takes a good catch.
Darren Lehmann on strike. What a lovely stroke that is. What a way to get off the mark. And they come back for 4 and make it comfortably.
More good running after a super shot. Not a half volley. Darren Lehmann just plays it nice and straight. Bit of timing. Very good shot to start your innings.
Got him! Must have got him. That was quick. Certainly heard a big noise through the stump microphone. At first, I must admit, I thought that had clipped the stump.
I reckon that has hit the stump, Mark Nicholas. It's a great noise. I think the noise was a little late, and therefore it may have hit the stump.
It's 140 for 5. Ian Healy has arrived at the crease. Chance of Dino as Headley gets back down towards third man. We've got a tense one here. 140 for 5 now. Lehmann has gone. Stephen Waugh is on strike. Feels as if for most of the MCG are behind Darren Gough at present. Lehmann looked pretty unhappy with that decision given out caught at the wicket, but there is a loud noise on the stump microphone at exactly the moment the ball passes the bat. Very difficult to know. It certainly hit something. Could it have clipped the stump? No, he doesn't like the idea that it's hit the bat.
Headley to Healy. Ian Healy negotiates his first ball without any problem. 140 for 5. Australia need 35 more runs. They set out needing 175 for victory. And Healy's gone for a duck. Hick takes another catch at second slip. England in business here. It's 140 for 6. Australia still need 35 runs. Headley's done the trick again.
Well, this is tremendous stuff. It's in the perfect slot. Ian Healy coming at it hard. And Graham Hick. They keep on showing the one he dropped. He's caught some good ones as well. And Healy has been a major thorn in England's side. He goes second ball without troubling the scorer. It's now 6 down for 140 runs.
Damien Fleming is the new batsman. He comes in to join Steve Waugh. 3 for 21 in this spell from Dean Headley. 5 overs and 2 balls. 3 slips in position. Here comes Headley again. Well, I think we all knew that Ian Healy wasn't going to hang around. He was always going to be positive. But this time, the ball takes the outside edge, and Hick makes no mistake, diving to his right. It's another good catch. Headley's 4th wicket. Big shout. Not out, says Buckner. Everybody's heart stopped in the ground waiting for cool Steve Buckner to give his decision.
Well, I actually think there's some bat involved in this. So to me, as if there was. The inside edge was there. If there wasn't, it was out, but it certainly sounded like 2 noises.
Headley's back at his mark again. There are 2 balls left in this, his 13th over. That's pretty straight, and this time gone. Fleming goes for a duck as well. Australia 6 down. Look at the English supporters celebrate. First time Dean Headley's got 5 wickets in a Test match innings. It couldn't be more timely for the visitors.
While this is all going on, Steve Waugh has stood at the other end, and on striker's end, but absolutely nothing he can do about it. Again, it's straight, it's well up there, it's out. That is absolutely plumb.
Two ducks in a row. Damien Fleming goes. Australia 140 for 7. Now, how's this young man going to react? Matthew Nicholson playing in his first Test match. He was as nervous as a kitten when he had the ball in his hand in England's first innings. What must he feel like now? 35 didn't see many runs 3 wickets ago. It does with just 3 left. In 4 overs, Australia have lost 4 wickets for 10 runs. Two wickets in this over already. There's 1 ball left for Dean Headley. Nicholson keeps it out. A magic over from Dean Headley, a double wicket maiden. 5 for 55 his figures now from 13 overs. And in this last spell, 4 for 21 from 6 overs.
terrific effort. Believe me, in this situation, it's nicer to have the runs on the board. And no one's chasing it. He's done it many times for Australia. Steve Waugh guided the tail through. I just get the feeling that Headley's up, charged up, the crowd are behind him. A lot of noise, a lot of atmosphere. Fleming's dismissal, there's no doubt about that.
Who would you back at this stage?
It's too close to call, isn't it? Oh, could be problems here. Oh, and it's going to be overthrows. Two runs to Steve Waugh, but Dean Headley was dead right to do what he did. He had to do that. There's no recrimination there.
I think Alex Stewart's complaining of obstruction there. Complaining that Matthew Nicholson obstructed the bowler. Have a look at what's happened here. Matthew Nicholson comes down. No, he's quite entitled to do that. Alex Stewart, just get back into your position. I know there's a lot of pressure.
Flashed away square on the offside, and Steve Waugh will pick up two more. Australia edging ever closer to that 175 target.
Whichever way this game goes, Paul, there's going to be some defining moments, and I can't help think about the runs that Alan Mullally made with Gus Fraser, that last partnership. Will that be a defining moment?
It will be if England win. If Australia win, the defining moment will be the partnership between Steve Waugh and Stuart MacGill in the first innings. So well played, and Waugh can take the single. Got enough confidence in Nicholson, who scored a half-century against England already this summer in the match at Perth. Wasn't in quite the same circumstances, though. Oh, that's a big shout. It's close, but not close enough for Daryl Harper. The only thing I can think of is that it was going down the leg side.
Got the feeling the umpire indicated there that he thought there might have been a bit of bat in that. Seemed to think that it was gone bat pad, but I don't know about that. I think that's hit pad first, but maybe going down leg.
Worked through mid-wicket. It's only one, though. Well, that is the end of well, it's not the end of the day's play. Steve Waugh staying firmly put. Alex Stewart has tried to take the bails off and kid everybody that and Alex Stewart looks a little bit disgruntled. He's complaining that England have had will have had over 4 hours in the field without a break. Unfortunately, that's not the umpire's problem, really. The umpires have to administer the rules and the playing conditions as laid down. It may well be a flaw in those playing conditions, and it may well be that something has to be done about them in future, but as they stand, then the umpires are exactly right in that decision. And I'll tell you what, Australia are on top here now. Steve Waugh and Matt Nicholson had no intention of going anywhere. England wanted to get off the field, and the psychological advantage has shifted right the way back to Australia.
And he knows he's got to bowl 8 overs. There's no good going slow now. You've got to bowl 8 overs. Now he's calling the boys, well, let's go and win it then. If we're going to keep us out here, let's win it.
Gone. The thinnest of edges, and Nicholson has gone. Now then, this whole scenario has turned round. It's a brilliant effort from Dean Headley. And Nicholson has gone. Australia are 8 down after wanting to try and finish this match tonight. It may be that England are the ones that are going to finish it.
Quite brilliant stuff. Ball just straightens towards the slips, the thinnest of edges. Warren Hegg celebrates, the finger goes up. Matthew Nicholson dismissed for 9, a very brave effort under a lot of pressure. And now Australia are 8 for 161.
Stewart McGill is Australia's number 10. He was a hero with Steve Waugh in the first innings. He scored 43 and the two of them put on 88. He will be hoping for a small part of that as a repeat. Australia need 14. England need 2 wickets. This is breathtaking stuff. The shadows are creeping across the pitch now. And Dean Headley is bowling to Stewart McGill. Big effort from Dean Headley. That's very impressive. The whole, I think, of the England team were convinced they were going off the field before that over. And the umpires made them stay out because the Australians wanted to. The finest of edges. Dean Headley appealing, Steve Buckner giving the decision, and Warren Hegg taking the catch. In the space of 6 balls, England are rejuvenated. England are giving Steve Waugh a single here.
Yes.
And he's taking it.
Well, it's been a long while since we've had a test match like this. I've played in a tied test match in Madras back in '86. And they played in a couple of close results. One against the West Indies where it came down to 1 run. The game here at the MCG where Ian Botham took the last wicket when Australia needed 3 to win after a long partnership with Jeff Thompson. It doesn't get any better than this. This is what Test cricket's all about.
What it's doing for England is it's restoring a fair amount of their credibility, which has been at a pretty low ebb throughout this Australian tour. They're showing that they can compete. Oh, got him! What a stunning ball from Darren Gough. The in-swinging Yorker has demolished Stewart McGill's stumps. Steve Waugh left McGill to face 5 balls, and Darren Gough has done McGill with the first ball he bowled at him. A purling Yorker.
Sensational delivery. Just swinging in just slightly as it approached the bat. Just enough to miss. Quite unemotional, Darren Gough. Quite amazing. Stewart McGill couldn't do it again. It's a duck for him. Australia now 9 for 162. And it's come down to this.
13 to win, 1 wicket England need, and here's Gough to McGrath. Deep in conversation with Alex Stewart. And Steve Waugh stranded, helpless at the non-striker's end. there'll be a big temptation by the England bowlers to try and rough McGrath up. Goff's most effective ball at this time of the innings is that in-swinging Yorker. Here he comes again. Oh, he's got him. He must have him. He has got him. England have won. What a stunning performance by Darren Goff and the England bowlers. Well, that is extraordinary. 4 hours they've been in the field without a break. Australia wanted to carry on. England didn't, and yet in the space of 2 overs England have wrapped up this Australian innings and won a most improbable victory. David Lloyd's out there. Quite extraordinary. Steve Waugh stranded, left not out at the non-striker's end, not out 30. Darren Goff grabs 2 wickets in 3 balls.
Quite a surprise when he took that single off the first ball of the Darren Goff over. The England bowling figures: man of the match, Dean Headley at the star, 6 for 60 from him. Goff and Mullally outstanding in support. That really was an excellent effort. Victory then by 13 runs to England. They go to Sydney 2-1 down and have a chance of squaring the series at 2-2. What a performance that would be if they pulled it off. Straight after the action, Charles Colville was down in the dressing rooms and spoke to most of the important England men.
You must have been worried when Nicholson and Waugh were putting that partnership together. It looked like it was just beginning to get away from you again.
Yeah, you know, as I say, it goes like that. They got off to a little bit of a start, then we fought back, got right back into it. They're going to have a little partnership, but you back your fellas, you back your team. And I say, today they showed what we are capable of doing. Just a pity we hadn't shown it in the earlier Test matches.
Did you think you'd won it?
Oh, I think at 3 for 130 we had just about won it, but we unfortunately got a bit lazy. As I said, we had, I think, our top 5 batsmen all made 18 or more, but no one made 50. You only need one person to make 70 or 80 more home.
Now, when Steve Waugh and Matt Nicholson were out there, and what a performance by young Matt Nicholson, it looked like they were nudging it back your way.
Yeah, they did. It was the last hour was real nip and tuck, I suppose. England got on top with 4 wickets in half an hour, and then, as you said, Matt Nicholson and Steve Waugh pulled it back our way. Then we went for the extra 8 overs and lost 3 for 1, so that's the game of cricket.
Yeah, my instructions were to go out there and bowl aggressively, and that's what I did. I just tried to hit the deck, and sometimes it didn't go right. You know, they hit me for 4, but you know, you just keep going, and that was a long session. And Goffy and I, and Al Malau and Gus, you know, it's a great effort by a unit of bowlers.
We've got a lot of stick since we've been here. We've not played to our potential. We know that. But over this match, I think it was a great fighting effort, and we're so pleased to sort of prove a few people wrong and just to show people in Australia that we can play a bit.
What did it feel like when you saw the finger go up and you knew you'd won the match with that last ball?
Well, I can honestly say that meant more to me, I think, than the South Africa at Headley. I didn't know what to do. I was just so excited and pleased, but we actually did it after everybody's wrote us off and said how bad we are. I mean, we've proved this game. We can play cricket, but we've got to do it more often. Everybody knows that, but this is a start, and hopefully we can keep it up.
We fancied our chances to win. If you look at the Oval last year at 124, we fancied our chances then. 170, we got 50 more to play with, and there was not a lot happening on the pitch. But it's just that, it's mind games really, you know, when you have to score 170 odd, and the response that they gave, I'm talking about our players, was really, really good.
It's now on to Sydney with the possibility from England's point of view of it being all square. The series is still very much alive.
Yeah, as I said before, this Test match is very much alive. We have to improve on this performance. I'm sure England will be buoyed by the way they've played in this game, so we've got to bounce back.
The Ashes have gone, unfortunately, but we said once we went 2 down, there were 2 to play, and the idea is to make sure we win the last 2. We've won one of them. We've got to go to Sydney now and try and repeat this performance.
Delight on so many England faces there, and no great surprise. You know, they've had a really rough time in the Australian press and around the streets and restaurants and bars of Australia as well. People have written them off, so this was a stunning fight back, and they have every reason to be proud of themselves. Now then, our next cricket for you is live from Sydney, 11:30 in the evening on New Year's Day. That's the